Sibulela ubuhle nobukhulu bakho ngoba wena kubo bonke oThixo akekho uThixo ofana nawe. UnguThixo onenceba engazange iphele. Sibulela Thixo wethu kusinika lemini eyenziwe nguye noba thina singayifanelanga. Kodwa Thixo wethu sibulela nengcingane Thixo wethu zorhulumente wethu ophetheyo. Othi Thixo wethu umuntu akulisebenzela ihlabathi akubasebenzela abantu basekuhlaleni kukwazi igama lakhe liphakanyiswe for your own glory. Sikelela ke Thixo wethu upremier wale province negovernment Thixo wethu kapresident wethu uCyril Ramaphosa ukwenzela ba Thixo wethu bathi xa besetha apart this building for umama uMilase Majola bazi ba Thixo wethu delayed charity is not the what you want. Sikelela ke Thixo wethu lo msitho mfutshane o-honorisha umama uMajola. Sikelele zithi nezithethe ezathetha kule ndawo Thixo wethu zazi ba lo muntu zithetha ngaye ngumuntu ebekuzukisa ehleli ngoba besazi ba wena unazandla izandla zakho nguye. Ebesazi ba uMilase wena unamehlo amehlo akho nguye. Ebesazi uMilase ba akunazinyawo inyawo zakho nguye. Sikelele kusithamsa nqeli sithi yonke into ezokwenzeka kwa social development ka iMessi elidisha mesiyolungileyo ibe yinto ezakuhonorisha wena. Siyazicela ezi zinto singazibangi ngoba wena wasimanqonqoze sovulelwa siyanqonqoza ke Thixo wethu siphe ngelo gama lingaphezulu kwamanye amagama igama lenkosi yethu Yesu Kristu. Amen. Inkosi. Kunjalo kaseqalekeni kunjalo kwaloko nje kuya kumana kubanjalo kuthe kube kunapaka phathe.
Masibulele kumfundisi ngamazwi awabekileyo nawo kusisondeza nokusiconnecta nembangi nomgqibelelanisi wobomi bethu kwenzela into yobana ithi le program xa iqalwa zibe ingqondo zethu zisondezwe kule ndawo bekumele ubana siya kuyo. Igama lam nguWandisile, ifani yasekhaya nguJikeka. Thina singamatshawe imidange kaTshiwo obhotomani oyasawuthiwa zizinkosi kodwa asikhahlelwa kule ndawo sihlala kuyo. Mandikhawuleze iprogram yethu imfutshane kakhulu le eninayo ingabe ine-changes esiza kuzi-effecta kuba i-advantage yoba ngu-program director une-discretion yokhupha omnye uphinde ufake omnye. Kodwa ke ezixesha lihamba sizawukwazi into yobana si-updatane. At this point in time, let's welcome the Honorable Executive Mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay, Councillor Eugene Johnson, to come and make welcoming remarks. Ezandleni. Zinomona ezizandla umeya wethu ngoku.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Program Director, Chief Whip of Council, Councillor Wandisile Jikeka, the Honorable Premier, Mr. Lobabalwa Oscar Mabuyane, Honorable MEC for Social Development, Mr. Pokazi Lusichi, Honorable MEC for Economic Development and Finance, Mr. Mvoko, councillors present here, chairperson of the ANC REC in the Metro, MPL Babalo Lobishe, esteemed Majola family, community members, members of the media, officials here present, ladies and gentlemen, comrades of the ANC, and all protocol observed, good morning. It is my extreme pleasure to welcome all dignitaries and invited guests to the very special occasion of the renaming of Ibhayi building, a landmark in New Brighton that can proudly be called a beacon of struggle. Allow me to extend warm greetings to you on behalf of the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, the council that I lead, and the residents of the city. On this historic occasion of the renaming of this iconic landmark in New Brighton, we are assembled here this morning to celebrate and honor the profound legacy of a great daughter, mother, and hero of the Nelson Mandela Bay and the Eastern Cape Province, Mama Jumartha Milase Majola. It is significant that this event takes place during April, the month of a galaxy of stars of the struggle against apartheid. It is a month during which we remember and celebrate the birth of a democratic South Africa on that fateful day of 27 April 1994. Program Director, 148 years ago, on this day, 7 April 1874, Mama Charlotte Maxeke was born. The first black woman with a college degree, Mama Maxeke continued to be a trailblazer in many fields of endeavor. A social worker, educationist, writer, activist, anti-past campaigner, trade unionist, and campaigner for gender equality, Mama Charlotte Maxeke was to depart peacefully on 16 October 1939. A force of example continues to inspire many of us on this very day. Yesterday, on April 6, we remembered the brave warrior Solomon Mahlangu, who was heartlessly hanged on 6 April because he simply wanted his people to be free. His body lies at Mamelodi Cemetery, where his memory continues to nourish the tree of freedom. In a week's time, we will be marking 40 years since the 14 April 1982, the day of the tragic and mysterious disappearance of the late student and activist and South African student movement stalwart Simphiwe Mtinkulu. He was killed by Nieuwoud, Van Rensburg, and Erasmus, the infamous and murderous apartheid security policemen. We will never forget them. Program Director, it is no coincidence that we honor Mama Jumartha Majola during the special month of our heroes. Mama Majola's name is synonymous with the highest standard of service to the community of New Brighton and the Nelson Mandela Bay at large. Like Mama Charlotte Maxeke, Mama Majola was an exemplary trailblazer, community activist, was like a glue that held the community together. An educationist, she shaped the careers of many young people through a force of example. Her force of example produced upright, purpose-driven, and value-based men and women who resisted the potentially distressing and demoralizing experience of apartheid. It was Elie Wiesel who was remarked that without memory, there would be no civilization, no society, no future, open and end close quotes. The renaming signals is a great departure from the divide and rule philosophy of the colonial and apartheid eras, which was synonymous with the old Bantu Administration Board. We now embrace the naming of this building after Mama Jumartha Milase Majola, with a vision of the common interests, common goals, and a pride in who we are and what we can achieve together, as it now houses the Department of Social Development as a place where all of us can access social services regardless of our race, gender, and creed. Therefore, in renaming these places in which we live and walk and from which we derive our inspiration and resources, we need to keep this vision in mind. We must reflect our cultural and our historical richness. We must honor those who have been degenerated or ignored and remember and immortalize them. Above all, we must cherish the sensitiveness and traditions of the living. Honorable Premier and MEC, we welcome your decision to wholeheartedly support this renaming, and I wish to express a word of sincere gratitude to you, Premier Mabuyane and MEC, for your anonymous support of this auspicious occasion. Without your support, this occasion would not have been possible. This decision to name the building after a stalwart of the community has been received with such enthusiasm by the local communities and leadership from all sectors in our city. This is the community's way of acknowledging and honoring Mama Jumartha Milase Majola, a woman who fought courageously for the development of the community over several decades. This building will now become a symbol and a landmark of hope and possibility, where the people of the area and the community at large deserve the best service excellence, and in which pride is restored in government service to the people. We strongly believe that New Brighton should once again unite and grow together, and that the Jumartha Milase Majola building would become the pride and place of all of us. We thank the Majola family and the people of New Brighton for granting Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality the high honor to memorialize Mama Jumartha Milase Majola in a way in which we will preserve her legacy right here. This is a fitting tribute to a disciplined and committed volunteer of the community of the Nelson Mandela Bay. We will not forget her. We will now remember Mama Jumartha Milase Majola each time when we enter the doors of this building. Thank you to the Majola family, and thank you to the people of New Brighton. Each and every one of you deserve to share in this honor bestowed on the Majola family today. Once again, thank you very much, Premier. We do not take this for granted. We will also never forget you. In conclusion, on behalf of the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, I'm privileged to let our people know from all corners of our metro and country that from today, henceforth, this iconic beacon of New Brighton shall be known as the Jumartha Milase Majola building. Looking at the life of Mama Majola and a generation, I'm inspired to leave you with the words of Mama Angelou when she said, "Stand up straight and realize who you are, that you tower over your circumstances." Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Let's give the Executive Mayor another round of applause. Well, thank you, Executive Mayor, for this welcome and political perspective on why are we here. I'm sure everyone now knows the purpose as to why are we really gathered here today. Even if in your invite, it did not indicate. But after the welcoming remarks of the Executive Mayor, at least all of us were clear now. Moving forward in terms of the program, let me acknowledge the guests that are here. First, the political head of this department, Umama Umani Lusiti, MEC, well said. Also in our midst, we have MPL Babalwa Lobishe, who is from this region. Also, we have the Executive Mayor, Councillor Eugene Johnson. Also in our midst, we have ward councillors, mostly of this cluster called Govenbeki. I use mostly deliberately. Can you wave hands? Hey, yeyisihla ke umkhwabo. Also in our midst, we have MMC Itumeleng Ranyele, who is responsible for roads and transport. Also in our midst, we have MMC Lawrence Throne, who is from the Good Party. He always, can I finish this? He always reminds us that I am good working with the ANC. I want to make ANC good. Can you clap for him? Also in our midst, sinenkokheli zakwalizwi, oba ubishop, oba ubefundisi, ngokwe-ranks zabo, nabo masibaqhwabele. Also in our midst, sinamagqala omzabalazo, abayibone lento singekayiboni, abayenze ya possible lento esidlala ngayo ngoku. Nabo ndicela into yobana siba acknowledge. Kwakhona in our midst sinamagosa aseburhulumenteni ekuthi emveni koba thina zi-politicians sithethile bona benza izinto zenzeke, because thina siyathetha bona zi-doers okanye zi-implementers. Can we clap hands for the officials, all of them? Okwandulo lokugqibela, we have members of the Majola family who made it possible, thank you, for us to be here, because they had a choice to say, hayi igama likamama asifuni li-associatwe nalo rhulumente, hayi igama lefamily yethu asifuni li-associatwe nale department. But because they understand ubana indima edlalwe ngumama emzabalazweni ekuhlaleni, baye bavuma into bana namhlanje masibe lapha nabo masibaqhwabele izandla. Okugqibela, in our midst, we have citizen number 1 of the province, Premier Oscar Mabuyane, who is also the provincial chairperson of the ANC. Remember, this government is not a government, is not a government without a clan name. So that's why I'm introducing him in a two-barrel form. Can we clap hands for the Premier? without wasting any time, let's invite a word from the family. We're told that Utata Gerald Majola, if there are changes, Utengum Kulua, Utatum Kulua will come and say a word on behalf of the family. Can you clap hands as he's coming to the podium?
Program Director, I've been listening since I've been sitting there from in the morning. The number of people, dignitaries that are here. Unfortunately, I can't mention them all. All I'm going to say, all protocol observed. Our dear Premier of the province, once again, as the family, we want to say thank you. The question that we are here today in this building, named after our mother, is very touching to me personally. The last time I was in this building, I was sent by her together with my learned friend. He's here, that white head, who said he's your elder, he's younger than me, and he's my junior. We were sent here to come and negotiate the state of our table tennis team at Ivan Peter. We had joined the non-racial table tennis association in the area. And then we were not allowed to cross the Dassi River to go and play. People who were supposed to play with could not come over to the side. When we entered that office, I can't remember even the white gentleman was. He had a pistol on his desk. Did he say, how are we going to talk with this here in front of us? Can you remove this and then we talk? He refused to refuse. I said, we better not talk then. Because you are threatening us before we have done anything. Those are the struggles we went through. That's the last time I visited this building. This is the second time now. I said I'll never get in, otherwise I'll be coming here to destroy. That's the feeling I had. That's what I want to say. This Jumartha, you're honoring by naming this building. That's what she taught us, to be firm and be strong on the ideas that we have. One word she always told us: never give up. That's what Milase taught us. If you decide on something, never give up. And we grew up with that spirit of not giving up. A number of incidences have taken place in this community of New Brighton. Very challenging, but because we were prepared from home how to deal with any challenges, that house where we stay, it was everybody's house. We grew up in that environment. Whether you know a person, you don't know him, if he comes in, Mama said, prepare him something to eat, let him say what he's coming here for. We grew up in that environment. And it had strengthened us and united us as his kids. Remember, Milase almost brought us up all by herself. When our father passed away, 1971, Milase, the five of us, she brought us up. And all of us, we managed to get somewhere in life. I must just say this. I left here unexpectedly. I had to. But I even told her, Ma, I did this because of what you taught me. That's when I left the country in 1980 to join the ranks of Umkondo Wesizwe outside South Africa. I stayed outside South Africa until 1994. Only time I came back officially, it was 24 June 1994. Although, because of the work we were doing, we'll come in and meet, and I'm seeing a number of my colleagues that I used to work with underground. I see them here, and I appreciate that. All I'm trying to say, this honor that you have bestowed on my mother by naming this building will keep us strong. One thing I want to ask, when we were approached about the naming of the building, we had to put conditions. Those who read the notification that we sent, we said this building must reflect Milase. I'm saying this especially to the workers, people who deal with people. Batupili, everything that you are doing, think about the person who's coming to seek help from you. Give them that, what they need. That's what Milase stood for. Do the best. I know today, it became the order of the day. What is this? But in Choncho, a person is doing his work. You want him to pay him for doing his work. He's being paid by the government, but give me something, I'll make these things. That thing must end. It starts right from there. That's where we destroy the core of our community. I want to get a driver's license, I must go somewhere behind to get a paper. Pay somebody. These are especially with social development. Please, you are dealing with people who are destitute, people who are suffering. Let's try and treat them with the honor that they deserve. It's mostly elderly people. I'm really appealing, especially to the functionaries of this department, to please, honoring Milase will be doing that, helping everybody that needs help. You know, you mentioned, the mayor mentioned two departments, Public Works and Social Development. I want to come, Premier, this one. I'm saying wherever I stand up in platforms in the country, I'm seriously worried about our education system. If my kids today are still taught the history that I was taught in the 60s, 70s, it's pathetic. Where is our youth going? We've lost our youth because our history is wrong. The history that is taught our kids is the same history I was taught. The only introduction is Mandela into history. One name, Mandela. The things, the stories we are saying here, that our Zedime was about Sharon McLean. Our kids don't know those people. They don't know. The activities of Solomon Mahlangu are said once during this month, from there's nothing. I'm appealing to our leaders to reconsider looking into our education system, especially the subject history. It's very painful that our kids, they don't know where we come from. How will they know where we are going? How are they going to focus? Because what they are taught at school is confusing them. I don't want to be long, but this thing, it's really worrying me. A perfect, I want to make a short example of my own daughter who was doing grade 12 at Pretoria Girls High. She came studying her history and she tells me that this is what caused the First World War, this is what caused the Second World War. It was so pathetic. I said, no. My baby, that's wrong, that's not true. There was no Prince of Hungary that was killed. German was developing. German had no colonies. It had to conquer, to get markets. That's what caused the war. Simply that. I was written a letter to come and report at school, Pretoria Girls High. No, your kid, what she's saying, is got an element of truth. But our memo doesn't have that. Our memo doesn't have that. She won't pass. It's so pathetic. I mean, the way we want to develop. And we're saying we've lost our youth. We've lost it, really. Because they don't know where they come from. So I'm appealing to our leaders, please, this thing must be reconsidered. Fortunately, I was trained in the then East German. After the Second World War, East German cancelled history as a subject for 4 years, until 1952. There was no history from grade 0 to university. History, because the history that was taught during Hitler time was bad history about German itself. They said, no, this is not going to be taught until they write books of history to teach their kids. Is it difficult for us to do that? We can start it even this year and say history is not taught. Because our kids are confused. They don't know what's happening. Is it really difficult to just say, we are stopping history this year for the next 5 years until new books of history, and we know this history is from us, stories that we can tell. That is my only last plea, Premier, that if that message can be sent to our leaders, history needs to be attended to. Thank you.
Another round of applause. Masimbulele umkhuluwa ngale political input, because indeed we are different creatures than we were before athethe. Because lo mkhabulo asinike wona ngumkhabulo o-unique, ngumkhabulo ongasoze ufumane naphi na. Uthi uBhuti Phaka ngenye imini sikwi-RTT meeting, isoja elingarhabulanga liyingozi kulo mzabalazo sikuwo. Indeed, this is a testimony, Bhuti Phaka, yobana eli soja elisuka apha lirhabulile, liyayazi le nto lithetha ngayo. Moving ahead with our program, also in our midst, MEC, we have the leadership of the Nehawu in the region, the deputy chairperson and the regional secretary, Nabo Masbaqabel. Imasizwe ziyak-acknowledge leadership. Zithi acknowledgewa yitafile, acknowledgewa zizo. Well, let's move ahead and invite the MEC to come and say a message of appreciation. Masamkelu MEC on the stage.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Mandibulise, ku Premier Wepondo, no MEC Mvoko. Ndibulise ilungu leParlamente, okwangusihlalo wale ngingqi yeNelson Mandela, Honorable Lobishe. Ndibulise zonke inkokheli ezikhoyo, noCeba. Ndibulise nenkokheli zabasebenzi eziphambi kwethu, Program Director. But also I want to greet all the officials of the various government departments that are here. We know Mastandu Corner, the Department of Public Works. We know the Department of Social Development is here. But also we want to greet our stakeholders, the various sectors of MPO and community leaders, because you know as a department without you asiyonto. And lastly, I want to greet the family kamama uMajola ngokukhokhelwa ngutata uGerald. Ndifuna ubabulisa ngokubulela ngokusiboleka umama uMajola. Nisiboleka umama uMajola esesemandleni, esaphila, niphinde ningabi namona ukusohlulela nathi in the legacy that she left behind. We really are here to pay tribute to an embodiment of what the department is about, and we are truly grateful to the government of the Eastern Cape and the Premier for allowing the department, but also the sector, to claim and take ownership of Umama Majola. Because indeed, Umama Majola does represent everything we should aspire to be. We may not every time and all the time live up to the ideals that she represented, but we should forever aspire to be that. We are immortalizing the memory, the vision, and the work of Umama Majola in this building, with the hope that every time our social workers and officials of the department kuphela amandla bengena kule building, they will take from the resilience esifunde kuMama Majola, from that spirit of never giving up, and really have more energy. At the time when Umama Mfundisi ethetha apha, she spoke and she said she was talking to us as DSD, but I felt Comrade Premier should be talking to all civil servants as government, Because at the time when the bureaucracy of government and the red tape delays service and that service is not delivered, it is these officials that will be working in this building that will carry the largest burden of that lack of service. Because we are talking about officials that are the face of government and interface with all the challenges that we are confronted with. We talk about the impact of COVID-19 in our communities. We're talking about the aggravated levels of poverty. We're talking about the rise in social crimes, gender-based violence, but it is the officials that must interface with that on a daily basis. When we talk about statistics, they know the face. When we talk about poverty statistics, they know umadlomo ohlele ngenakutya namhlanje bona basalinde ikoti ezintathu. So may the spirit of Mama Majola and all her blessings really give us the resilience we need. May we take up from her work. May she borrow us the prayer. There is a tribute, and I will leave it for all participants to read themselves. But I want the family to allow us, Mr. Ibhayi, to borrow from the prayer kaMama Majola. Awazibhalela yona. Endithi masiwunxibe ibe ngowethu namhlanje. When she said, God, give me work till the end of my life. God, give me life until my work is done. And when I die, I should hand it over to the other. Because akukho nto ibuhlungu ingathi ngumuntu onamandla osebenza abengaboni umsebenzi wokwenziwa. Okanye udibane nomzimba unyuka usehle epasejini. Umsebenzi omninzi kodwa ubomi abukho kulo mzimba. Sihleli nesibhukubhuku. So as we render services to the people within these good and proper facilities, we need to ensure that the people, when they meet us and interface with us as government, they find the empathy, they find the love for the people, and that should be driving us. So we truly appreciate the work done by the officials and the civil servants of government in representing government and in pursuing the mandate of the department. And our mandate, as we are going into the financial year, this financial year, we recommit in the part of our mandate that says we want to build partnerships that will empower our communities, the most vulnerable within our communities, to be active participants in their own development. Because we have established that we can't bring development without the most vulnerable within our communities. And this as well, siyayibona ebomini bukaTata Majola Premier, when she mobilizes young people, when she mobilizes young women, the elderly, and our people living with disabilities, because she knew that awuzukwazi ukuphucula nokuphuhlisa ubomi babantu ngaphandle kwabantu. With those words, ndifuna ukuthi siyani appreciate our NGOs and our civil society organizations, because you really are our instrument in empowering and developing the people of Nelson Mandela. Thank you very much. With that being said, I'm going to call on the Honorable Premier, who we equally appreciate the role that they've played in the government that he is leading, in ensuring that we not only do we call ourselves Home of Legends, but we celebrate and immortalize the lives of the legends and the people that have contributed in ensuring that the Eastern Cape continues to be a thriving province. Thank you.
Sendizoyika nexesha eli. Kuba iboss yami iyeza apha. So ndiyayazi uba nina you are the real bosses. But the one who can make me to account on your behalf, uyeza apha. Thank you very much, Program Director, the Chief Whip of the Council, Councillor Jikega, Comrade Wara, our esteemed clergy, today led by Mama Wans, Umfundisi Osevulele Kamnandi, the Majola family, and all veterans of our movement, as Koyo phakathi kwethu, the Nelson Mandela Metro Executive Mayor, Comrade Eugene, the members of the Executive Council, or MEC ke ukutsho, the Social Development, MEC Mani Lusiti, MEC Madikizela, who has sent an apology, MEC Mvogo, that have released to go to the stadium and welcome our international guests today, who are also tourists here, who are visiting Isuzu factory. Members of the provincial legislature, as Koyo, Comrade Babalwa, Dibone yena ke uzothi Gango, who is also the chairperson of the ANC in the region. All councillors present here, the leadership and the membership of the African National Congress in our midst, senior government officials, and I'm not sure ngemfoka ngabayi noba zikhokelwa nguwena. Andiyazi uba ukhona ke ongaphezulu kwakho. Uyawuthi udaliwe namhlanje wabekwa ngaphezulu. Yeah, mawam. Ulava uyi-deputy MEC. Or chief of staff in the office of the MEC Madikizela. The organized labor, the leadership, how all the other unions that are here, nabasebenzi ke bonke, abasebenzi baka SASSA no social development in this complex. Abantu base GQEBERHA, the members of the media, good morning to you all. Good people, we meet here today once again to honor the giant Umama Majola under the theme, Never Give Up. We said everything when we were burying her, because also the president honored her by declaring her funeral as a special funeral, provincial funeral category 2. So as a premier, I was delivering the eulogy. I might just be expanding, Comrade Trun, from that eulogy. Good in the ANC. For the ANC to be good. In the past 2 years, our province has lost many eminent persons who contributed positively to our society in various ways. Many of the people we lost resided here in Nelson Mandela Metro and were activists for development and social justice during the apartheid period, but also played an instrumental role in building the new democratic South Africa. Among these heroes and heroines of our people is the name of Umama Milase Jumartha Majola. So in other words, someone can write a book about her because she has got such a wonderful, rich history to be shared amongst our people. Last year in July, we joined the family to bid farewell to Umama in a somber atmosphere as we collectively reflected on the life well lived. On that occasion, I said, and I quote, Umama Majola was revered by the people of our province for the work that she did in her lifetime. She belonged to a golden generation of mothers of our nation who had similar characteristics of ubuntu, selflessness, dedication, and humility. That's what I said in that funeral. She was part of a generation of mothers who kept our communities intact during the highest brutality of the apartheid regime. Ebengomnye wembokodo ezinobuntu kweli phondo lethu, nto leyo inqabileyo ke kweli xesha likhoyo. Asithethi ke ngani ke Mam Diponi saqhuba nini. Hayi nina nisayibambile. She was instrumental in guiding the youth to lead positive lives and encourage young people to get an education. Abantu abafana nonyana wakhe uBut Gerard Majola nomkhuluwa apha baye bazibonakalisa apha elizweni. NoBut Vusi Pikoli abaphuma bonke ke umkhuluwa noBut Phaki beshiya elilizwe ngo1980 But Phaki. Wasinda ngapha elisuthu wena. Sinda cebesh, what they call it, a narrow escape. So isandla sikamama ufunanga uyosikhangela kwenye indawo uqala ujonga apha endlini because kumandi ukhokela apha kuqala before uyokhokela kwenye indawo. So bendikhathazwa ke ngumntana mbhuti ebendichazeleyo kwenza i-learners kwenye indawo kule nto uyithethayo uthi wenze honors ufeyile le-learners uxelelwe pha uba hayi awuzuyipasa le-learners up until uze ne-1.5. So must I give her 1.5 now as a premier ayonyoba ukuze apase i-learners? It can't be. Something is horrible wrong with our moral fiber. We are really confronting the really moral decay in our society. The corruption you are seeing really epitomizes the really moral decay that is in the society. So the renewal that the ANC is speaking about, it cannot go anywhere up until we collectively confront the challenges of the society as the society. So you will get good leaders in the ANC if you have got good society. She lived a life of service, Majola, to others. Tata Mandela once said, and I quote, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we live or we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." Kukho aba ke sibabhatalelayo babaze emsebenzini banceda abantu. Yabona ucelwanga ke ngoku. Ucelwanga uyabhatalwa. Xa uza konqena ngose uzawubhatala uthi makuthweni. We are saying abasebenzi bakarhulumente are not employed to be paid. Okanye abaqashelwanga kubhatalwa, baqashelwe ukusebenza babhatala. It should just be like that. Yabona ngoqalisa into enzima kakhulu ekuthiwa i-consequence management. Iyaphela laa nto bekuthethwa zonke iintsomi. Ibekwa phambi kwakho, jikeleze ecakwa. Umthetho kona awujikeleze ujikeleze indoda. Umama Majola practice these ethos of Madiba throughout her life, serving the poor, marginalized, and the youth of GQEBERHA. She was an all-rounder found in activism and community building. We are so hugely indebted to kwaba bantu bafana nomama Majola. Yazi namhlanje into uhamba ekuseni ngo4 ngeAlbertina Sisulu Road uyofika eOR Tambo International Airport. Ukhwele eOR Tambo International Airport. Uzokohlika kwenye airport ekuthiwa yiDavis Tirman. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? So as a patriot, that history ubhuti athetha ngayo is a history that our kids should know. Hence, the curriculum must change. Cuba, nobufumana umntana ongaka ona 5 years airport. Into yokuqala kuqela ngawuxela ngeCuba nokubaluleka kobuCuba kubo as patriots. Before I entertain yonke enye into, it just simply indoctrinated to understand the importance yobubona nelizwe labo. Umama Majola was an all-rounder found in activism and community building. She made a contribution in building a non-racial, non-sexist, prosperous South Africa. What remains for us is to win the second leg of struggle, which is socio-economic transformation to alleviate poverty, unemployment, and inequalities. Today we are in celebratory mood as we are naming the building that houses departments of the democratic government that service all our people indiscriminately after her name. This building houses the Department of SASSA and Social Development that service the vulnerable group of our society, youth, women, and the elderly. Can you imagine how to handle social development kwa SASSA? Ndingumuntu musonengxaki ndike ndamamela umhlobo wenenimvuselelo last Sunday kuthiwa masazi inhlungu. Kuthiwa xa wazi inhlungu awuyibuzi nengxaki. When someone comes through that door kuba uqhelene nenhlungu, uyazana nenhlungu, uyayazi inhlupheko, intsokolo yomuntu, awuyibuzi kuba uyamazi ba elapha nje lo muntu uzele inhlungu nengxaki. Yashonyezwa pa for 3 hours. Andiyani noma nayimamela nala mvuselelo. Hey, into enzima kuba kuthethwe nathi singamadada. Lona lingene emanzini liphumele umile nko. Kungabikho mahluko. We want the staff that will service our people here to be inspired by her name and service our people with humility, respect, and dignity. That is what Umama Majola epitomized in her life of volunteerism. Xa sibala inkokheli eziphume izandla kweli lizwe lethu, igama likaMama Majola likhona kolo luhlu lwenkokheli. Ungumzekelo wobunkokheli ekufuneka sibunikezele sizizicaka ezithunyiweyo ngabantu eburhulumenteni ukuze sibe ziinkokheli ezinevumba elimnandi ebantwini njengomama uMajola. Wonke umuntu olapho usakhumbula umama Majola ongasekhoyo simngcwabe last year because i-influence ne-impact ebenayo ebomini babantu bakuthi. Funeka ke sibe zinkokheli ezinyanisekileyo, sithobeke, sithembeke, sibe nenkathalo, sibe novelwano, ubulali nokuzeka kade umsindo. Not wonke umuntu ozawuza apha uzawuza ekule mood yakho. Uzawufika omnye akuphathe kakubi. But when you are a professional, besides being a professional, you are a privileged few. This province has got about 6.7 million. Government of the province has employed about 124,000. We've got so many graduates who are unemployed, young people who are desperate out there. Udalo lapho ibetha una 13 years. So ungumaxaka xhali ngo. Awazi noba kuyasa noba kuyahla konke izakwenzani. Ngoku sikrwele umgca. Kukho into ezakwenzeka emntwini. When we talk about professionalizing the civil servants, we simply mean that if you are employed, stay away from other things, focus at your job, so that those who are politicians can help you to deliver your job. Don't confuse things. Kwenzela into kokuba noba kuphume loan premier kwafika omnye MEC, don't have a problem. Work in the system. So yabona ke uba usadla ngendebe endala ingxaki yakho ungandifaki kulonto mna as a premier. Sondifaka ingxaki yakho. Mina ndifuna umsebenzi mina. Nami ndinikwe umsebenzi iANC. Ndinikwe umsebenzi iANC. And I must go back to the ANC ndithi kwenzeke ntoni. Asinawuthi ke ngexesha loba befana ba asizithethe izinto sizithethayo sibe sithethe ezonto ezo. sizowunikezela ke le building sithiya ngomama ngenyanga ebaluleke kakhulu. Izithethe bezithetha apha bezirhabulisa ngale nyanga no Solomon Mahlangu nabanye. Inyanga ke ebalulekileyo apha eSouth Africa because we call it a Heroes Month for obvious reasons. In our daily lives as current leaders, we must be seized with programs to transform the lives of our people. We must think about creating jobs. We must think about fast-tracking housing delivery and creating safe communities. These are all critical challenges that our people face here in Nelson Mandela Metro. After this program, I'm going to Isuzu factory in Stondale to witness the launch of the Isuzu D-Max Bakkie that has been manufactured here in GQEBERHA. Bendilapha about 2-3 weeks ago. Siqala la moto, ibiqala ungena in the production line. Today we're taking out of the production line. New car, done here. All cars that are driven in South Africa, even not here in South Africa, even elsewhere, because we are still exporting, but Gerald, about 80% of what we manufacture here. 38% of all cars in South Africa are manufactured here in Nelson Mandela. Volkswagen is here. Isuzu is here. We've got Bike coming. We've got Ford here at Strondale. La 15 billion investment eyenziwe eTshwane, eSilverton, SEZ, Tshwane SEZ. We are part of that beneficiation. We're talking with Transnet to open lines because we need about 4 trains coming down here almost a day or a week from Pretoria to here to export cars in this port of GQEBERHA. We are not sleeping. We are doing everything in our power to ensure that our young people get jobs. When our people are so suffering. We have a problem, Comrade Trun, when Nelson Mandela Bay is not stable. We are relocating those tanks, those manganese tanks in that port, down there at Kocha. That work is underway. We want to open up that space for waterfront. Business is willing and available to invest hugely so that people stop going to Cape Town for waterfront. They have a waterfront here in Nelson Mandela Bay. That is going to happen. I can tell you, mark my word, come the end of this term, this 5 years, 6th term, these things will be happening. That relocation of those tanks, as I'm speaking to you, it is there. If you look at trucks that are coming from Northern Cape with manganese, huge traffic that is coming into this. So we've got a business to do here, not for us, but for people of Nelson Mandela. Sibe ne council ke enkazathe. Xa uyapha ekhaya elalini kuthiwa inkazathi iyagodusa. Kodwa eyalapha iyachitha. We are in trouble. Ndiqinisekile Majola uba ebesaphila bengenawuzalale asonge izandla. Ebezawusebenzela into yokokuba i-ANC goes back to power to continue with this vision that i-ANC was formed for. So siyayithanda ke ngoku na when we have got good people in the ANC, for ANC to be good. Isuzu came to the rescue of 1,000 jobs that we could have lost when General Motors disinvested here. But because of our efforts to attract investors, they kept the factory open and employed the same number of people who could have lost jobs. General Motors came into our rescue. Same 1,000 jobs that we could have lost are there now working. Ngabo ababenza le moto ngonyana nentombizini. Kubalulekile ukuba umasipala walapha nabahlali balapha basebenze ngokumanyana ukuze abatyali izimali beze ngobuninzi babo. Apha kule ndawo. We are working with the municipality to solve the issues of water shortages that affect our people and industries in this region. The minister was here very soon. Ezowujonga i-progress eyenziwa kwela dami lizawunikezela ngamanzi apha. Siyayazi imbalela eThwaxele area. Decisions that need to be taken in council must be taken expeditiously. We can't have a council that is running around the circles, not doing its work, not focused. That's why we believe that that time has arrived now, that those who don't want to serve our people, even if they are from small parties, let them not do so. But those who want to serve, let them come together and do the good work and take the life of our people serious. The investment by Isuzu, in addition to the recent investment by Ford and Aspen, is in addition to the investment by Ford and Aspen in this region. Aspen, as the investment about 2 years ago, 3.4 billion. Again, in this investment conference, said they are putting additional 500 million. I don't know whether niyayazi lento yenza ipilisi apha Aspen. And the other one niyayazi about headquarters zika Coca-Cola in Africa, they are here. Head office, they are here. This is a serious epicenter of development. It's our economic hub as a province. So we can't just allow it to be in this perpetual chaos that we're seeing. It is also an addition to the growing number of factories that are opening in the Kuha SZ to create jobs for our people in this province. One of the concerns we have about this region is the high rate of crime. Crime and political instability are a threat to attracting investors. Abatyali zimali abafuni indawo enolwaphulomthetho. Loo nto ininzi ke apha eNelson Mandela. Abantu abangoomama bakwazi uzihambela ngemoto zabo. Kukho nje abantu abajikuzisa imipu apha ababulala abantu. We have talked to the minister and we have a plan to tackle this issue, but we are mobilizing community to say no to crime. Because people who are committing crime are your sons and daughters. People who are doing all these things are your sons. So umntanakho xa umazi bakananto makungasi enento ungabikho concerned ba uyithatha phi lento anayo. Leaders from this region must actively work with communities and SABS to fight crime before it diverts investors away from this region. The best way to keep the legacy of Majola alive is to end all these challenges because they are man-made and can be solved by determined leadership, which I think we have in this region. But I don't know where else can we have leadership if we can't have leadership up. But inzima into yalapha eNelson Mandela, ulala uvuke sewunenkokheli. Kuve kube nguqhusarha. Inkokheli egqityobekwa idunjelwe inhloko ibone yonke into because ayazi nix ngoba unkokheli beANC. Yonke into ibe lula, You see, this is the problem. We'll fail forever to be in this kind of a situation in Nelson Mandela. If people of Nelson Mandela who know where we are coming from, who know the ANC, decide to fold their arms and rest on their laurels. As the provincial government, we will support local leaders to achieve all plans they have for this region. Our support is founded on the principle of serving the interests of the masses of our people. Siyafuna ke into kokuba kuyo yonke ke lento siyenzayo sincedisane ke ngaloo nto. May the revolutionary spirit of Mama Milase, Jumartha, Majola continue to guide all of us to build the Nelson Mandela region we want. A region that exemplifies the international icon it is named after and all the other activists and stalwarts who served the people selflessly, such as Majola. The road to building the Nelson Mandela Metro we want is not going to be an easy one, just like a renewal program we are actually pursuing in the African National Congress. But the teachings of Majola should guide all of us to achieve our objectives. May the spirit of Umama continue to rest in the eternal peace. Ndiyabulela.
Masibulele kwinkulumbuso. Thank you very much, Premier, for your keynote. Indeed, it gives hope because other people are saying that Lama Transkei afuna uzo-investa apha abuye azobuthatha ububutyebi. Now you are giving us an assurance that the investment that is going to be made here and that continues to be made here, it is made for people of this region and for people of this province. In the briefing session, Premier mentioned that in the funeral, he made a commitment that this building will be named after Umama. With all the doubts and delays that were there, he made a promise that uyabuya. And indeed, ubuyile and delivered on his promise. These are kind of leaders that we want. These are kind of leaders that even if sivuswa ebusuku, were able to say our hopes and aspirations sicima into yobana zizawukwazi ukufezeka. Thank you very much, Premier. Indeed, ubuyile wazodeliverisha. I am told that in the midst, there is a lot of other people that we did not acknowledge. Really, it was not out of malice. Asidelelanga mntu. Kodwa ke masitsho into bana sibonile isangoko uba ikhona uButmonga and your leadership. Sibonile iClub kamakhulu nayo ilapha. Sibabonile nomama beWomen's League nabo bakhona balapha. Ngalo mazwi ke masi invite Honorable Babalwa Lobishe aze azokusibulela. Emveni koko sifumane izaziso nomfundisi oza kusivalela ngomthandazo. Enkosi.
Long live the undying spirit of Milase Majola, long live. Long live the undying spirit of Milase Majola, long live. Akuculwa ke apha andiyazi ba ke mna ndithi ukuze ndibe namandla ndicule kodwa ke hayi andizucula ndinguye umsholozi ngoba ke ndawuske ndiyile. Tata uPremier ndiyabulisa ko MEC abakhona ngaphakathi endlini. Ndibulise ko tata ubafundisi ngelihle igama lomfeli nomvukeli wethu Yesu Kristu. Ko councillor bendawo ku leadership yenehawu kuyisangoko MMC okhona ngaphakathi kwethu uCouncillor uTron mhlawumbe uyabuya naye. Sizibuliseleni kwiClub kamakhulu komama bama bahle ndiyababona pha ekoneni. Kuzo zonke iinkokheli zaseburhulumenteni kwi-administration ezilapha ngaphakathi Dr. Mbengashe nabo bonke abanye abaphetheyo bakwa-Public Works abangaphakathi kwabakwa-Social Development abakhona. Siyazibulisela nakubahlali baseNelson Mandela. Incinci mna yam kuthiwa mandithe enkosi niphume nihambe. Mna ke apha incinci eyam ininzi into seyithethiwe program director uzawukutolika ke kwindawo endingazugoba kululwimi akho nodonga kaphapo nokuthi ndiyame khona xa ndikhumsha ndizokwazi uflowa. Uyandiva ula umuntu akasiguqu lapha le nto ndiyithethayo uyawutolikela abanye. I think ndizawumane ndiluma kwelasemzini nakwelenkobe ukwenzela into yoba icaciseke le nto sikuyo. Siyabulela mna incinci le into endinikiweyo kukuzobulela wonke umuntu olapha. Kodwa ke xa ndizobulela Premier ndibulela i-commitment oyenzileyo. Awasiphoxa ngoba urhulumente we-African National Congress ubezibophelele ngoku izolo ngo-October wathi uzawukhawulezisa iinkonzo zifike ebantwini. Xa ke ngoku sithe umama simbeka wavuma wathi uzawubuya wabuya nyani isinika ithemba into yokuba nawuphina kwabakhansila bebephakamisa izandla balapha bazawuyazi into yoba banesikhokelo esikhawulezayo. Nabo funeke bekhawulezile babuyele ebantwini noba imeko ayivumi noba laa nto bebeyithunywe ngabantu ayivumi. Sizobulela ke lo myalezo because sinethemba le nto yoba xa inkokeli yephondo ikwazile ubonisa uba kuyabuyelwa ebantwini. Xa uthembisile uyabuyela ngumyalezo sonke siwubambayo. As well, as we are meeting here, Program Director, we know that our government has committed, wayichaza no Minister uNathi Mthethwa into yoba this process ye renaming is pillared under 3 aspects of changing the names that were offensive, correcting the names that were not spelled correctly, and also to represent history, taking away the colonization and apartheid reflection. So, namhlanje leo okukunema kwale building ngomama Majola sizobeka history yethu. Asifuni babanye abantu bayichaza ba yayingubani umama Milase Majola sebeyichaza ngecontext yabo. Sithi sizovuma ba siyamazi, siwazile imisebenzi yakhe as a social activist, siwazile imisebenzi wezandla zakhe ngokukhupha ama-comrade azawukwazi umela ilizwe alwele ilizwe wakhupha from endlini nakwi-community. So namhlanje ithi loo nto le building noba udlula ngendlela kukho umuntu ogwenceleyo kwii-copper pipes zalapha funeka uhlike kulaa taxi umqhwabe ngempama ubiza amapolisa ukwenzela into yokuba le building ndiyadlala ngoqhwaba le building ingabi vandalized under our lifetime, in our lifetime. If we no note on a serious note, in this region, buildings zethu ziyaphela. But kuphela in the main buildings that were not renamed. Funeka niyiqaphele le nto ndiyithethayo. Ithi loo nto ine-significance engumangaliso into yokureneyimwa kwe-building. Zonke ii-MPCs eziphelileyo asizazi zizi-MPCs, zizi-multipurpose centers, azinamagama. Ezi zisashiyekileyo zingenziwanga nto zezi zinamagama. Ithi loo nto ibalulekile le nto uthiywa kwamagama e-building. Ukwenzela into yoba abantu bayazi into yoba ngumsebenzi kaMilase lowa. Mawungaphathwa laa msebenzi. Ngumsebenzi kaHenry Fazi, ngumsebenzi kaLillian Ngoyi, ndibiza amaholo akhoyo, ngumsebenzi kaNangoza Jele. Zingaphathwa. So luxanduva ke Tata uJikeka njengabantu abasekhansileni into yoba kwezi holo zishiyekileyo zikhona zithiyeni maninzi amaqhawe awileyo apha ekunowuthiywa ngawo ukwenzela into yoba ezi assets urhulumente azenzayo ngexesha lethu lolawulo zingalahleki endleleni. Ndiyayibulela kakhulu intetho eziwileyo apha. Actually this was a revival politically. Ikwazile nokusinika imessage ethi sinoxanduva olukhulu ubheka phambili singabantu baseNelson Mandela. Nayiphini i-asset esiyinikwa ngulo rhulumente wethu masiyi-embraceni siyazi into yoba asizuxakeka kugada ii-assets kodwa funeka sixakekeleni i-development le urhulumente ayithululayo. Angathululi afike thina singekho ready to receive le development egroundini. And unamhlanje i-indictment kuthi sonke ukuba mayibe khona uMilase eMajola must multiply from today onwards. Kubekho abathandazo athi nam ndizawuzivulele yam iklab, nam ndizawugayida bam abantwana babheke ngapha ukwenzela into yoba sizilweni sizigqibe ezi social ills. Le drug usage, le drug ezi ndawo zizithengisayo, because iproblem ziyathengiswa babe zihero xa bethengisayo kuthiwe hayi ubani unemali but le mali yenziwa ngedrugs ezawuphinde zibulale thina. So if as a community asiphakamele social ills, nale teenage pregnancy, nale termination of pregnancies, instead uba kusetyenziswa contraceptives, yenye yengxaki esinazo efuna thina bazali nathi bantu abakhulisa abantwana, wayindoda wangumfazi, abantwana mabayazi into yoba urhulumente uyazikhupha free. If umuntu decide ukulala nomntu, zi-free ezi clinic, bangaterminate instead of preventing, because iinumbers zalapha zi-high and zizinto esingazithethiyo kodwa zilihlazo kuthi and ziyingxaki kuthi ukubheka phambili. Ngaloo mazwi tata siyabulela kakhulu tata uPremier, nisenza abantu eNelson Mandela